Welcome to this edition of the Million Dollar Mastermind podcast. This is where we pick the brains of high achievers from all walks of life and get their hard-earned, real-world insights on winning. I'm your host, Larry Weidel. Well, that's one of my core concepts that I try and get through to people right from the beginning when I, start talking to them. It's like great ideas don't care who uses them. If there's a great test, the test doesn't care who uses it. And so why not you? Other people are using it. Why not you? Why do you have to?
So we are able to be the first to use it because we didn't create such rigidity. So because we are a platform and we can say, oh, this new test or this new technology, new wearable technologies. So I guess at the expense of getting a kickback from a company, we don't get any of that. We just say, oh, there's a new emerging tech. We're going to give this to our clientele. So there's a new Oura Ring out, or now instead of Oura Ring, it's something different. And so depending on the person's goals, we're equipping them with the appropriate, their wearable technologies or aspects to be able to show them that they're keep them on track throughout the year, and also show them that their body is healing before they see it on the outside to keep momentum going. And then they just come back year after year. They're seeing those graphs that are showing that improvement. But we're always screening for underlying issues because you have to be very careful that you're not treating the one thing and there's actually something else brewing. And so we are very big in cancer screenings, screening for early Alzheimer's, aneurysms, brain assessment capabilities is unmatched. Our medical director specializes in all things around brain health and Alzheimer's. So before it became mainstream, really. And so we may think, oh, I can't remember this today. Is it a one-off? Is it long COVID? Or am I actually in a declining? And what can I do to employ today as a daily little routine to shift that trajectory? You have to remember, we have our genes. We all are born with genetics, but there's the epigenetics that turns the gene on and off. So what can you do to turn that gene off or at least minimize it? But in order to do that, you got to catch it early and you have to be able to have a targeted plan. And so throw the kitchen sink at it, but we'd rather just get to the brass tacks right away.
But exercise is great. I exercise in nutrition, but exercise is a great thing for globally minimizing the chance of being switched on from what I hear. That's what they came out of that longevity.
Exercise is all upside and no downside. Could you imagine taking a pill that had only benefits and no side effects? That's, healthy eating, and movement is medicine. Food is medicine, movement is medicine. Neither have downsides. And if you can't eat the appropriate foods because of you don't have access to it or this or that, you travel for work, you just aren't going to eat those foods, we can supplement it with supplements. And those supplements are actual ones that you're going to absorb because we've done the testing to make sure that you're going to absorb that supplement.
Yeah, I've got a test like that coming up at the end of the month to the blood. They see if you're actually absorbing all of these nutrients that you're taking in. I do that 3 or 4 times a year, but I'm like a pincushion with all the blood testing I have.
Well, see, and that's why you are the fountain of youth, because you have agency over your health. You take charge of your health. You're very intentional. And so it sounds like you're living in the sunny South and then you're in Colorado. And so Aspen is just, how could you not exercise? Everybody's out on the move. And so you put yourself into environments where environmental toxins are low, also influences your health. You are surrounded by people who are active and you're intentional in your practices.
Yeah. And I want to point out another aspect of the thing about an Aspen or a Palm Beach or a recreational type area for living is that people basically have got a good attitude about things. You know what I'm saying? Is they're out, they're exercising, they're climbing the hills. You go out and it's inspiring to be around and see the people. It's not a bunch of Dunkin' Donut eaters, that are carrying around 50 extra pounds. It's just being in the environment. The environment has a lot to do with it. And I would tell people, if you're in a toxic environment, either your company or your social network or even your town, if it's a toxic environment for you, you've got to get out. You know what I'm saying? You got to take charge of your situation and reposition.
Exactly. The environment's everything. And what you're illuminating is it's really that sense of community. So it's not a bunch of people that are exercising in silo. Yeah, they may be doing the activity, an individual sport, But really, it's that mutual respect and admiration for the sport that you're getting that thumbs up on the bike as somebody passes you, right? I found that town very energizing to see that people are active. Like, okay, why wouldn't you ride your bike to dinner or walk to dinner versus drive? And so, yes, I agree with you. And being out west, so moving from my small town in Ontario to moving out west here has been certainly where I feel like, oh, these are my people. These are people that also like to hike up mountains and run up mountains and be at a level of activity. I'm not so weird anymore. And so it's right to use the word weird, but in certain contexts where people live a sedentary lifestyle, you're kind of this oddball. But if you put yourself in the right environment, you really thrive. And that really helps with mental support too.
Well, I'd like to get you to touch on one thing and the importance of having a team to get things done. And particularly, I think people will feel like, or they're not, haven't really thought about or been exposed to the fact that performance athletes out there, you see them by themselves competing, golfer, swimmer, runner, a cyclist. But the thing is, there's usually a whole team of support team around them. In all these, in fact, I remember one of the Olympics, there was a bodybuilder out of Denver, and there was supposedly, they counted up all the people on their team, direct and extended members of their team. And like this one bodybuilder had 230 people on his support network to help him go and peak at the Olympics. And so I'm sure runners don't have 230 people, but even to be a performance athlete in something as singular as running, you got to have some support people around you. Is that right?
Oh, absolutely. You need people in your cord that know you and know your body very well. So you can address the injury or the inkling that there's an injury starting and then get back on track. And so and then I even engage in the services of my own company because Healthcode Medical is all about giving people back their health and getting on track. So is it, had a bad case of the flu? Why am I experiencing this? Is it because certain vitamin levels are low? Or why is my immune system not picking its pace back up? And so I completely agree with you there. And it does take a team. And so people often think, oh, healthcare is just the doctor or the doctor or the nurse. But no, there's so many extraordinary people that go into the orchestration of care and right down, not saying there's a hierarchy, but from housekeeping to everybody in imaging and everybody in between to the specialist. So that same principle applies in this company here, where we have a longevity coach, health coach, nutritionist, because you and the doctor have decided what you want to test. You've uncovered it. Doctor has explained it to you. He has a plan. But then that physician, is he the best person to implement the plan? Probably not. So we have a team of people that's where their area of passion is. And that's with the health coaching, the nutritionist, the person who's an expert in supplements. Why are you feeling bloated after that supplement? Or you change your diet and you're having gut issues. So those are the individuals, a nursing team, and you come in. So it takes a team and it's the right person doing the right job at the right time. And then if you can organize that properly, you have that satisfaction that you're doing the job you were trained for. And so it's seen in athletics, it's seen in my professional life, and it's a team-based sport.
Well, thanks so much, Lisa. We've had a great time talking. And if people want to contact you, it's Health Code. Is that correct? Now, do you have your own personal website where they could contact you, or Instagram or whatever?
Yes. So healthcode.ca, that's our website. We also are on Instagram, Healthcode Medical, and you can reach me, Lisa Brooking, on LinkedIn. We're happy to have a chat.
Fantastic. Well, thanks so much. And I always like to let our guests have the final word. What kind of final words would you have for those tough cookies? Staying with us.
Well, a health scare is non-death sentence.
Okay. Now, talk about that.
Yeah. So oftentimes people think I am diagnosed with this and I just have to accept it and it's part of my identity. Or we could say, is there a way to just not manage it, but overcome it? And so our founder overcame a massive health transformation through functional medicine. And so he was very much inspired to use his wealth to create this clinic so that it can be a platform for other individuals to see that there is a way forward. And similar industry to yours is, why is healthcare so patchy? And it's here, it's there, seek services here and there. And so He's bringing in all the latest to be able to democratize functional medicine, be able to bring all the latest testing and treatment opportunities for individuals to find out more about their health, to have agency over their health. Ultimately, it's our greatest asset.
Yeah, because they used to be totally against Alzheimer's testing because they said, if you have the testing and then it shows some kind of tendency or gene, then all of a sudden you go into a depression and it's just a matter of time. But when you have the attitude, it's like, okay, we're just going to find if that's something we need to manage around or not. It's not a death, like you say, a death sentence. And it's just something to be aware of and to manage.
It can be overcome. Like you could decrease the amount of insulin you need and heart medications you need each year. Most people haven't even considered that concept that they could be off pills. If you were on antidepressants last year, why are you on antidepressants this year? Let's get to the root cause. And so people think, oh, I can have agency over your health. You can be a business person that's striving to create a successful business. But if you don't take care of your health, not only is it going to affect your ability to make good decisions, because you might have mood instability and energy instability, but if you don't have health on your side, you're spending all your wealth getting back your health. And so health is so foundational. And I think the world is now seeing that they want to take more control of their health. And how do they do that? They need more insights. We're connecting the dots between different testing and wearable technologies to really showcase your unique self.
Well, I want to get in to follow up with that. I want to have a direct word to the guys and ladies listening that are running companies and employing people and doing great things is like, you got to take care of yourself. Everybody's not equal in terms this whole thing is I'm just like everybody. No, just think about what happens. How many people are going to be impacted if you go down with some unnecessary health disaster? And so you've got to get over this reluctance of taking out time and taking out substantial amounts of time and money and effort to take care of yourself because, this body, the mind, all of that is you're using most entrepreneurs use and work their body, their tools much harder than normal people. And so you've got to realize it's worth it to go ahead and recharge it, put the extra energy in, just like an athlete is, is going to have a bigger expenditure of energy, competing.
Well, the return on investment is significant around brain health. If you knew you could do these three things add into your daily routine, 3 low-hanging fruit that's going to fuel you so that you feel focused, engaged, you can make great decisions. You remember that person's name you met once 3 years ago. You are on the ball. And then not only does it keep your credibility as a business leader, but it continues to be engaged at the highest level in your day-to-day. And that's ultimately life, is creating experiences and memories and feeling fulfilled, where you can't do that. And I've witnessed that in care at the bedside, is if somebody doesn't have those brain functions, you're ultimately a body that's there, but you're not able to really engage with the world around you.
Now, would that be a supplement? I mean, is that primarily supplements or exercise or whatever you say? If you knew you could do 3 things, would that be like diet, a nutrition supplement?
Yeah, it's certainly those are the foundational pieces. And then is there something where it's different memory gains or certain things that we have a lot of individuals who have played football and have a lot of those concussions, and hockey players and post NHL and they've had their professional career and they're young, chronologically young, but their brain has really can go to a lot of damage.
Let me just tell people about, I'm familiar with the functional medicine and all of this because 15 years of recovery from a severe, totally crippling cycling accident in downtown Palm Beach. So that's why I don't have my Tour de France bikes anymore. And I don't ride in the mountains. I'm through with bikes. But the thing is that because of that, I got an education in functional medicine that I didn't want. So I'm aware of the game. But those of y'all that are not, let me just tell you this. If one thing about dealing with a company that if you like the idea, you don't have someone local that you feel like you could go to and have confidence in, you want to give Lisa a call. The thing about working with in functional medicine and everything like that, you're not having to fly out there every few months or something. I mean, initially you're going to have to go out and periodically you're going to have to go, but so much of this stuff can be done with blood work over the phone and consults like that. So you could consider dealing with someone long distance like Lisa, where if you didn't know that, you might say, there's no way I'm going to,
No, we service clients again We have a large number from New York and then Florida, Texas, California. So we're kind of doing the big sweep. And then certainly a lot that have homes in Aspen. And so they're making that commitment for their health once a year. So they're coming out to our flagship location, which is also come out in the winter and ski Whistler, come out in the summer, get sushi, see our cherry blossoms. Like it's not usually an arm twist to come to Vancouver. For American clients, there's also a significant savings because of the exchange rate. And then many individuals go to across borders to seek care. And so what we're doing is they're coming across to see us, and that information stays in the country that the service is rendered in. And so for some people, they are quite high profile and they would rather go to another country to see, like, do I have cancer? And not have to worry about it getting leaked out. And so they can go to other countries. Some people go to Mexico and go here and go there, or they can come to Canada. And so we have seen people come for different reasons. But the main thing is we're delivering. We're actually, health is very personal and we're providing the results people are looking for and that sustained impact. And then they're telling their friends. And so it's just extraordinary through word of mouth.
All right. Thank you very much, Lisa. This has been great. Looking forward to having you back and talking again soon and hearing how the business is expanding and your world is expanding. Congratulations. I'm pulling for you to make the short list for the Olympics in Paris.
Oh, well, thank you so much for your support. Appreciated our conversation. You're awesome and a total inspiration, Larry. Thank you.
All right. You're very, very kind. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Thanks for listening to the Million Dollar Mastermind. If you felt there were any valuable takeaways from this episode, please take a minute and leave us a 5-star review. Your feedback is important and really helps us get the word out to a wider audience. Remember, we have a valuable webinar that is absolutely free. Register for it right now at weidelonwinning.com. Thanks for listening.